Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all well. So what I wanted to do, a couple of things. I just wanted to show you my progress in my little winter journal using the Junk January challenge, 24 Junk January, is that the right direction? Junk Journal January challenge. And yeah, so I think I showed you a couple of pages and what have you, so I thought I'd show you a couple more. I've gone ahead and I've done work in advance because I felt like it, and I just felt like doing it. You know, I was working in there and in here, and I didn't really want to do anything else at that point because it was late. And so I just had to go, you know, at doing a couple more pages. So I'll show you those. But I've come on as well to do another craft, which is Momigami, which is a Japanese method of making paper into cloth. So I'm going to have a go at that. I've never done it before, so it will be just, you know, it'll be me doing it, and if I go wrong, you know, you'll learn from my mistakes. But yeah, so that's what the glass thing is for, just to protect the table. I had a very large craft mat, and it melted in the sun, so that it won't go back into shape. And then I've got an A4-ish, and I can't find it anywhere. I could do with something bigger, so, but anyway, I think I'll manage with this. I don't think it will be a problem. Anyway, so what I thought I'd do is just show you, just checking the light. I think the light's all right. It's not a bad day today. It's not quite sunny, but it's not dark and dismal either. And well, let's put it on and see what it looks like. It is a bit better. Or maybe I'll keep it on. Okay, so I don't like keeping it on. I don't even like having it on. Right, so as you can see, it's getting ridiculous. It's only 5-6 days in, and it's already getting really fat. So, and I knew this would happen, but I'm not sure what the answer is. Maybe I just, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so I'll make a quick start. So you've seen this page here. That came off when I did the other page, so I need to put it back on. But it's quite a cute little tag. That's just my Junk Journal January tag, 2024 tag. I can leave it in there, and I wrote some intentions down there, and then you haven't seen this page. So this was the quote page. So my quote is, "Everything in nature invites us constantly to be what we are," by Gretel Ehrlich. I think that's how you, well, look, I murdered that, but anyway, never mind. So this is antique vellum, and I had scraps of it, so I thought I would use it up. I went from making, I think it was my Christmas journals, I used it in those. What I've done is I've created a page on this underneath, this page here, with the quote and other bits in that I wanted to talk to myself about. And then I made layers of dried flowers in between the layers. So I stuck dried flowers on, and then I added another layer, and then more flowers, and another layer, and more flowers, and another layer. And then at the end, I added this little flower just as if it was growing out. It doesn't want to be confined. So yeah, so that's that page. As I did a little bit of stamping and writing. I really like that page. It's probably my favourite so far, although I love this page as well. So this is my this is the throwback one, and this is me with my daughter Jen, and she was born in January, so I thought I'd add that, and yeah, I love it. She loves roses, so that's why the roses are there. I added a little flower here. This was from a diary that I had in the 80s after she'd been born. So it wasn't the same year, it was probably a few years later, but it was still the 80s. So yeah, I love that. And that's using that little thermal heater. This one, I'll show you. This one. Oop. And I love it. It gives really nice images. There's one there of me with my friend years ago. So that's on a sticker. You can get other rolls of paper as well. But it's not a bad quality, you know, for something that's going down on a page. So yeah. So that's that one. And then this one was the day 4. This was Tuck Spot. And I don't know, I struggle with these things. I think many people do. I listened to a few videos and everybody's saying, oh, I'm struggling with this. Not with Tuck Spot, but with just the general, you know, thing about doing challenges and things and having prompts, because it can, you know, it's meant to open you up to possibilities, but sometimes it sort of freezes you a little bit. So so the background of the talk is some oil painting that I did that I've ripped up. See if I can find one of the pages for you. I used a piece in the diary, in the journal of another person that I made. So that's a little piece, and I might incorporate that somewhere as well. I absolutely love this. I have a huge journal, sketch pad full of these little swatches when I was doing colour work, as probably at university, you know, and I saw it. These are a part of that. I think it was then. I mean, it could have been before then, but anyway. And then then I added this little bird because I thought he went really well, and just some. Oh, the background paper is the same as this. So I put it on because it had January on the top, and I put it on the page. The page was boring, so I haven't done an awful lot to it. I added the bird, I had a little bit of collage. And I wrote day 4 on it, and then I added this little journaling card, and it's yeah, I liked it, and then I coloured in some of the flowers with a gel pen type thing. So it says, sometimes very early in the morning, no, sorry. Sometimes very early in the spring, Father comes home and says, would you like to go to the woods tomorrow to look for arbutus? And you all jump up and down and clap your hands, and then it doesn't say anything else. So I don't know if there's a bit missing. But yeah, I'm guessing that you go and find some arbutus in the woods. And I quite like that. Very early spring. I mean, it's not quite spring, so still winter, but I liked it anyway. And then this one I really struggled with. This is the daily log. So I did a background page and I didn't like it, so I've covered it over with this, which I love actually. My daughter bought me this, bless her heart. She bought it as a little surprise Christmas gift, and it's origami paper. And yeah, it's lovely. It's you know, full of just different papers that I could potentially use in different things. I might have a go at origami, to be honest, but I used that page there because I thought it reminded me of a bullet journal, and I thought, well, bullet journals are the type of thing where you'd make lists and things like that. So I have a bullet journal and I've never used it. I bought it specifically to use and I didn't use it. Anyway, I loved the background, so, and then I just added numbers so I could write lists, and then I just did a little, this was already here from a digital from Raindrop Lilac, and then I just added this sweet little bird and a bit of background. And then this was the original card that I made, and I added a bit of lace to that and a tab. So the tab mat comes from the same page as this, and I think it was a freebie, but I can't remember where from. It's probably a Facebook page. So the tag I think probably will be my journaling card, so I will probably journal on that, and then I will write my lists when I'm ready. So that's day 4. Oh, sorry, day 5. Yeah, so that's day 5, daily log. So this is where I've worked in advance, and this is memory. So this is a very layered page with lots of memories written on there, and then there's some ephemera underneath, and some writing and various other things. So that's my memory page. I've used various tissue papers, white and brown. It's not the vellum that I use there, it's a different type, it's tissue paper. And then, yeah, so that's my memory. It's private, but, you know, that's the point of layering all the tissue papers and keeping it separate, you know, keeping it enclosed. I like that. And also, I think memories are often faded and vague. You know, they have elements that you can't remember, and I think sometimes this sort of reminds me of that. I've attached all of the little pages together so that they are layered, and that's. I've also looked at the list, and there is a prompt that says layered, and I'm going to use this as my layered, and also that one. So, you know, I won't be doing that prompt. I'll put that, keep that one. You know, I've already done it, so there's no point in doing it again. And this is day 7 stitched, and I added this little tab, although I will be doing more to this, so this is just a start, and that's day 7. I don't know if I said that. Stitched. So yeah, I've slow stitched on the tab, or cluster, not tab. Excuse me. And this was a watercolor page that I'd done previously that I'd stamped on. Excuse me. So yeah, I might do some stamping on this one. I had lots of others where I stamped and did various things on them, added flowers and things, so I might do more. Well, I would definitely do more work, but I think I'm going to slow stitch it, the whole page, so we'll see. Otherwise, you know, sometimes I just want to keep things simple, and especially because my book is getting very bulky already, and we're only on day 6. So yeah, day 7 rather. Well, we're not. I am. So anyway, so that's where I'm at with this, and we'll see how it progresses. And you know, as I said, I do struggle a little bit with it, but it's enjoyable. It's keeping me on my toes for sure. Okay, so this session is going to be the making of Momigami paper. And this, I thought I'd use these papers. So Momigami is a technique that the Japanese people used to create cloth from paper, and I think the cloth might have been used to mend, I'm not sure, or, you know, be part of the fabric of various items, maybe clothing or whatever. I don't know that for sure, but they used a starch to create the texture, the very soft texture. So it's basically turning paper into a sort of a cloth feel, so it breaks down the structures of the paper itself, and then, you know, it becomes the fibres, and then, you know, and the way you do that is with some sort of oil. They used a paste or a starch, but I'm going to use coconut oil. So I saw this method on a few people's, the original was Caterina Giglio, I think her name is. Sorry if I've got that wrong. I saw that a year ago, I think it was, quite a long time ago, and I thought, you know, I wanted to have a go at it for a while, so I thought I'd have a go. I'm just going to check everything's fine. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do, so I thought I'd do it with you guys. So this is a piece of paper that I can maybe use part of. I can't use all of it. I'm just going to rip it. The reason I can't use all of it is because it's got tape on it. Now, I don't mind the holes in it, so I'm going to use that, see how that comes out. This is some tracing paper, I think, and this is from a very old book, so I'm going to try this. Now, this is fragile and it may rip, but I just want to test out the, you know, the characters and the strength of these papers, and then see how they come out. So I'll make a start. I think I'm going to start with this one. Oh no, I'll start with the brown one, brown packaging paper, and we'll see how I might not have time to do all three because, as you know. So I melted the coconut oil a little bit in the microwave, but I didn't want to completely melt it, so the sides are a little bit. So you basically, what you do is just rub coconut oil or whatever oil you're using. Oh, that's a lot. I didn't mean to put that much on, but never mind. Maybe I need this much. I'll do my hands some good. Just roll my sleeves up. And then you start by folding in the corners like this, so that the paper doesn't rip on the corners. You can see the oil on the paper already. And then, so this is, if you start by folding in, I think it's to avoid ripping. Yeah, as I said, ripping the corners and ripping the pages. So you're testing, you know, you're sort of a bit like, it's called kneaded paper. But if you do it like this, you maybe won't rip it, maybe, I don't know. So you're sort of, you know, doing this. And then, yeah, I think I might have used too much oil, I don't know. And then you flatten it out again. And then it's sort of, I've heard it in some of the people that I've seen the videos of, they call it a meditation. So it's a bit of a meditation as well. So you just spread it back out again and then start again by folding it again. So you can see that the creases are becoming, and I'm just going to do smaller folds. I think, you know, I saw doing it to quite large folds, and that's fine too. Oh, I have ripped it. Oh no, that was already ripped. Yeah, that's okay. It might rip a little bit more, but that's okay. I don't mind it ripped a little bit. Obviously, I don't want it ripped to pieces. But yeah, I'm just doing tiny folds rather than large ones, and scrunching. I just think it's fascinating, you know, these techniques that people used. I mean, I suppose in a way it's a cheap way to make cloth, because paper would be a lot cheaper to make than cloth. But that's my guess, I don't know that for sure. And then I will just fold it in. Keep folding it like that, and then you can also scrunch it up into a ball if you're comfortable doing that. And you get to a point where you've softened the fibres a little bit in the paper. I'm going to go into that shape that I had before. Now I don't know if this is, you know, correct in terms of how Japanese people do it, but because I haven't seen anybody Japanese doing it, I've only seen, you know, Western people doing it, so I have no idea. Right, now I'm going to roll it up and just fold it in like that, and then I'm going to scrunch it into a ball, and it feels okay to scrunch into a ball. You know, it doesn't feel like it will tear, and then I'll very, very gently unfold it. And this is what you do. So you just continue to do this. Until your paper softens to the point where it feels like fabric. Now it's still very roughed. If you could feel this, it's got a very rough texture. So, but as you can see, it is becoming, and I've got holes in it, which is fine. But it is now easier to fold, so I'm going to just keep doing the folding, keep pushing and stressing the fibres, maybe. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to do it from this side. So yeah, anyway, I hope you're all well, and you know, the January and February are the times of year for me which are the hardest. physically struggle with pain in the cold, and you know, my mood can drop very, very quickly. I have to be aware of that. So, you know, doing things like this, these meditative processes, and maybe watercolor painting, things like that, slow stitching, are all really good for us. So if you know, have these same moments as me, and you feel, you know, you get low, you sort of need something to occupy your mind, you know, you're ruminating or whatever, you know, because you're not going out as much, and especially if you have chronic pain issues, you know, you stop going out as much. I know that's the case for a lot of people. It's already starting to feel softer, so I'm really happy with it. So I'm going to do some more scrunching, and I will start this end. Actually, I may just scrunch it into a ball, you know, because I feel like I can. So I think this is called kneading, but it feels more like scrunching to me. But I'm just gonna, I think, I don't know, I haven't seen anybody, you know, take it to the end. I've only seen them do the technique. But, yeah. And anybody with painful hands might want to consider how, you know, sort of just take it easy. My hands aren't too bad today. Oh dear, my rips are getting larger, but that's okay, I don't mind. And then I'm just spreading it out. It's actually really lovely. It's all like massaging it, and it's a lovely feeling. But this, the textures in the paper are changing, and it's just really lovely. So I recommend it. Sorry, I'll just have a sip. I do get a croaky voice in the morning. Well, I can get it any time. So yeah. So as I was saying, you know, it's one of those things that maybe you might find relaxing, and it's simple. You don't have to use coconut oil, by the way. You could use any oil that you've got in your cupboard. So it could be olive oil, or sunflower oil, or rapeseed oil, or any oil, vegetable oil. But yeah, I had coconut oil, so I thought I'd use it. It was recommended, or it was used by Katerina. So, and then I watched another one. I think she said she was going to use coconut oil, but I didn't watch it fully, so I don't know if she did or not. Well, she would have done. Now you really can feel the difference now. It's getting much softer now. Much, much softer, and it's just lovely. I'm wondering whether to leave that. But yeah, I think I'll leave it. The hole's getting bigger, but I don't mind. And I think actually, it's already started that process because it's much softer. Imagine you're on your own. Oh, I did rip it then. Did I? Oh no. Yeah. Oh, I did. Yeah. Imagine you're on your own, and you know you've lit a candle, and you're at your desk, or you've got a tray on your knee. That's actually a good idea. A tray would work. I've got a few trays downstairs I could have used. Because you can wipe it clean if you've got any oil on it. So now it's becoming really soft. So yeah, so you know, if your hands aren't hurting and you feel up to it, and then these can be used in your journals, or you know, you're just creating your own papers. I've made different papers in the past. Let me see if there's a piece here. No, I don't know if I've got it, but I use them in my journals. You might have seen them if you look back at my videos. I use them as scraps rather than large pieces of paper. But I sandwiched a lot of different textures in between papers, and yeah, it feels starting to feel really lovely. It's almost like a leathery you know, a leathery sort of... Oh, I think actually you need more. I think you don't... I mean, I don't know that if you need more, but I'm going to put a little bit more on. So I'm doing it gently. You know, I suppose you'd call it, even though I'm squeezing it, it's a light touch, and I think that's why it's, you know, not hurting my hands, because squeezing my hands can hurt sometimes, although I'm not really struggling with pain at the moment in my hands. But yeah, it's a light touch that you're using. It's not necessarily, you know, you don't have to, you know, no brute strength or anything like that. It's all very light touch. Okay, I'm getting more holes now. Wow, that's interesting. And that just in that one. So I'm going to go even more careful from here, although I can feel that the paper texture is definitely... There's a difference on that corner there, and those corners are very soft. It's just this corner here. Ah, I see why. Okay, I'm going to rip that off. It's double layered, so... but yeah, I don't mind the holes in it, and as I say, I'm going to use this. I don't want them all over, like they're starting to appear everywhere, so I need to be careful. Or do I? Do I need to? It's only an experiment. Oh dear. I thought as it went on, I thought the chances of ripping it would become less, but it seems like it ripped more at this stage. I'm just going to smooth it out very gently. And it's a lovely feeling to smooth it out. There's sort of you know, you're doing it very gently, carefully. Yeah, I mean, I can feel it, you know, very changed to what it was. So I think you could go on for quite some time with this and to make it into the texture that you want. So I'm going to put that aside, and I will continue to work on it later, but I'm going to start another one just simply because I want to demonstrate rather than, you know, make an end product. So just put some oil on my hand. Now this will change obviously because it's so it might probably make it completely translucent. We'll see. Yeah, this is it's not soft like tissue paper, it's tracing paper, so quite hard. It's harder. This is the hardest paper, I would say, out of all of them. It'll be interesting to see how it works. Tissue paper would be absolutely gorgeous to use, so I might do some of tissue paper off camera and then show you later. I'm just bringing it in. Now there were no rips in this to start with, so we'll see if we get away with not getting any rips. small movements. You don't need to rush. As I say, it's a bit of a meditation. I talked about making a cup of tea and it being meditative the other day, or a cup of coffee or whatever, or a hot drink. I always find it meditative, because this, well, it depends on the drinks that you're making, I guess, to a certain extent. But you know, for me, my first drink is the cup of tea first thing in the morning. I'm just going to fold this a little bit more into a bowl. And that is always very meditative for me, very mindful, because it's my first cup of tea. You know, I've let the dog out, Ralph, and you know, feeding the animals in the morning, and yeah, so that's what I'm doing first thing. And then mid-morning I'm having a coffee, and again, that's a very meditative process, because it's a longer process, because I use you know, a milk frother and what have you to make my coffee into a latte. Oh, let's hold it, and I'm going to do it. Oh, that feels just so nice. It's sort of almost like a sigh of relief when you unfold it. How beautiful. And then, yeah, so as I say, you know, throughout the day, and then when I come to making my herbal teas, because I drink a fair few herbal teas throughout the day, and into the evening, and probably my last cup of tea is herbal. Certainly it is if I'm you know, not sleeping very well, then I will always make a herbal cup of tea. I had one last night because I didn't sleep very well. It's fennel and licorice. So anyway, as I say, you know, and then you've got the aromas. If you're using a herbal teas, for example, you've got those lovely aromas, and that it adds that extra quality. Coffee, you know, it smells absolutely gorgeous when it's first made, and you know, I add chocolate to the top, chocolate sprinkles, or turmeric, or you know, things like that. Yeah, there's a lovely feeling when you open it up. So maybe because it's tracing paper, there's less fibres to break down. I don't know that. I don't know if that's true, but it feels like it's gone very quickly to a very soft texture as compared to this. This took a while. So I don't know, maybe what I thought would be harder, it's actually easier. So yeah, so then, you know, lovely delicious aromas, and then hot chocolate and the thickness of it. And then I don't have anything on my hot chocolate. I don't, you know, it's not one of them luxury ones. I just don't like the cream on the top. I like to just keep it simple. And if, you know, if I've got cacao, that's even more so, you know, raw cacao. It's even more of a meditation or a mindfulness experience. So the point that I was making was it's a simple things. You know, you can create any sort of mindful experience from whatever you're doing throughout the day. And you know, for those of you who don't have chronic pain, I'm sorry if I've, you know, blabbing on about it, but for those of you who do, and I know there's a few of you now joined my page, you know, these are the moments really that bring a little bit of joy when you're in pain. You know, it distracts you, and so I think it's very much these sorts of using these sorts of things, mindfulness activities, really do help. They take your mind away from the struggle of constantly thinking about pain. Because when you are in pain, when you do have chronic pain, you are you know, it takes over your mind. It becomes all consuming. Horrendous. But these sorts of activities help, and that's why I'm suggesting it. Watercolor painting, even if you're not a watercolor painter, I'm not a watercolor painter, but I do like dabbling. And if you make a simple, you know, you do, I don't know if I want to touch it, but you saw that if you, earlier you would have seen that blue and yellow page. That was just little watercolor, you know, wet the page first and then just put little dabs using your large, or well, it doesn't matter, any size watercolor brush, and then just, you know, adding it in just very gently and letting it spread. But you do need a lot of water on your page and on your brush. That's the key to allowing it to spread and then merge into each other, to get these soft effects. So so that's, again, that's looking very it's looking nice. I'm enjoying that, and I'm enjoying the feel of it. It feels, well, actually they're both starting, yeah, I mean, they really are soft. Wow. So I'm going to leave that one. You can see the effect that's having. It's just really nice. So yeah, as I say, this is a demonstration. It's not, so I'm not doing the end product. Now this one is vintage paper, and it's actually quite fragile, so this, there's a good chance that this will rip, but I just want to see, you know, what comes of it. So I'm happy to experiment on this. That's probably a bit too much. Do wonders for your hands. Have you got dry, wintry hands? Right, I'm going to start small. Yeah, see, it will rip. So I'm going to take the edges in first. I'm just going to be very, very gentle with this. Take the edges in very gently and fold them rather than scrunch, because I think I do lots of little folds. I think it might help in the beginning. So yeah, different papers, it's interesting, will require a different sort of strategy in making. If you have Cardi Paper, for example, that's the you know, paper with cotton in it, then it's going to, I think it's going to be much, much easier. It's got a certain thick, it might be harder to work with because it's got a thickness. And I do have some, I have some £300 watercolour paper that I might use, but then that could very well hurt my hands, so we'll see. But you can see that I'm just, you know, twisting the paper a little bit, but not too much, and not trying not to rip it. I don't mind the ripped edges, but, you know, I don't want to just create a ripped piece of paper. I'm looking to make it into, yeah, I can feel now a bit softer here, so I can, do you hear that? You can hear the crunch of the paper, the crackle. That's interesting. Again, that's a fairly interesting part of it that you might not have thought about before. So I mean, we love, journalists love the sound of paper, don't we? We're a bit strange like that. No, I'm kidding, we're not strange at all. It's perfectly natural. There's sort of a ASMR type thing going on. Oh, did I rip it? No, I didn't, I don't think. These bits are the tricky bits on the length. But as I fold the corners in, those will become more pliable, I think. So I hope, you know, I hope this is okay for you guys. I have lots of ideas and I want to do them. I'm going to, I love, often talk about Roxy Creations, Roxy Creations, it's because I watch a lot of her videos, because she's a constant on YouTube. She's on almost every day, and I really like her the way that she each day has a different activity, because it's sort of Monday she's got Medieval Mirage Monday, and Tuesday she's got What's in My Box or something like that. I don't know if that's the case, but you know, she's got these sort of different activities on each day, and people know what to expect, and I think that's really comforting to a lot of people who do this, to know what's happening, or what's coming up, you know, what will be on today. It's a bit like a TV program, isn't it? You know, people who watch soap operas on TV, they do so because they become attached to that storyline or whatever. And I think watching somebody who comes on almost every day and knowing what they're going to be doing is has the same sort of principle in a way. Maybe, you know, maybe you're not as invested as you might be with a character, but you know, certainly Rachel, you know, you get to know her a little bit. She's a very open person, and I really like her, the way she does things. I really like the way she what can I say? Yeah, the way she works and how she has this consistency. Actually, consistency is a word that I've been thinking about for myself, because it was one of my New Year's resolutions or intentions, because I'm not consistent. I'm really not, never have been in a lot of ways. I mean, I guess, let me think if there's anything I'm consistent in. I've always, throughout my life, I've always sort of been a little bit open to taking risks, to work-wise, in my career. I mean, I had, before I became an artist and trained and went, you know, educated in art, I was head of you know, some services within social care services and NHS, and so I worked, there was a certain sort of, I had a style of working, I guess you can say. I was very what's the word I would use? Committed and very passionate about what I was doing and what we were doing. And I was also very, but I was consistent in some ways, but I wasn't, you know, I was open to change and open to trying new things and open to, you know, I think the main thing was that I was open to change, and I was challenging myself and challenging those around me to think differently. I did a lot of training and teaching in my day as well, and that, again, that's sort of a similar thing. So consistency has never been top of my list. So yeah, so you would have seen me now do this, and obviously I'm doing it in a completely different way to the way I did that, because it's just taken so long to even get this far. But I'm definitely kneading it. That's what I would call kneading. I'm pulling it in and softening it. And I'm going to just do this because I've got a lot of oil on my hand, and I think it will help to soften the paper. So yeah, so consistency, I quite liked that word this year. Intentions, I heard it somewhere. I heard somebody say it. Anyway, I'm going to unravel, and I'm so happy to see, is it ripped a little bit there? Yeah, okay. But I just feel that sort of first opening up just feels so nice to the hands and the sensation of it. So the reason I think coconut oil is used, because it doesn't It does have quite a soft, gentle smell. Olive oil will have a smell, but I love the smell of olive oil personally, but not everybody does. But I'm sure that would dissipate after a time anyway, so it doesn't matter. You can use whatever you want. But yeah, I think they used cornstarch or some sort of starch in Japan. But it would... I didn't do my research, put it that way. I think it's worth researching it more and finding out the background to it. And I will do that, but I just wanted to do something today, and I was thinking what to do, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this. Because I wanted to do it for a while, and I didn't have, you know, I thought if I just go on later, if I do all my research and get sucked into that, then I won't get the video done. So I'm sorry, I haven't done any research, not fully, not into the art of Momigami. Right, see how it's softening up. I mean, it was, you know, this is old paper and it rips and cracks, and when I use it in my books, and I use a lot of it in my books, because it's an old matte book, and if you know my books, you'll know that I use these papers. It's ripping, I don't mind that either, because I mean, imagine when, you know, if you want a grungy look, or if you want to stitch into something, then it doesn't matter that it's ripped. You can always repair it somehow. Or you might like to see the holes, because sometimes when you make layers, for example, it's good to see holes. Like if this had a hole in it, then I'd be able to see what was behind. So I don't mind all of that. In fact, I love it. It's always been a part of my art practice, actually, is to... translucency has always been a major part of my, you know, my work. A softness to like the materials that I've used, and so this is no different. In fact, the layered page in the journal that I showed you is very similar to some work that I've done in the past. It's just where my mind goes, I suppose, into... Oh, I'm going to start doing this. I think this does stress the paper, because I think this is when it's more likely to rip. But try not to do it too hard. Just do a gentle squeeze back and forth. And then, as you've seen, I haven't used a lot of oil, and I really don't think you need a huge amount. But I will put a bit more in, because you can see it might need to be more oil on to stop it from ripping. So it soaks up some oil. So have a go, see what you think. Maybe you'll really enjoy it. You could listen to an audiobook while you're doing it, or you could just enjoy the peace and quiet. That rip is getting larger. Starting to be very, very soft. I think I do, I'm trying to think, do I want it to be covered in oil? Hi, apologies, my phone died. So yeah. Anyway, I can't remember where I got up to, but this is the finished. Well, they're not completely finished, but yeah, they're well done. Put it that way. And I will be using them. So and they're so soft. They really are really lovely. Just lovely to feel. It's interesting as well how the creases have sort of, you know, made the translucency less so, and I thought it would be more so. So that's interesting and unexpected for me anyway, but something I didn't think about. This one, it looks a bit like leather, or it looks like cloth. It's actually dyed cloth. I know it's just really nice and soft to touch. And then this one, again, it's very soft to touch, and it'll make lovely background papers. So I'm really happy with them, and I will be making some more, and I will show you them. But I just thought I'd leave it here and come back to do some more work with you guys very soon. So take care, everybody. Thanks for watching, and welcome to any new subscribers, and thank you to subscribers who've been with me for a while. I really appreciate you all. Thank you very much. Bye for now.